everyone to my restoration of my 1998 Mercury Mountaineer. I'll go over the whole car of what I'll be doing to it, and starting with the exterior. The only rough part about it is the roof and the hood has got this sort of paint oxidation, and I'll be compounding and polishing that out in a whole different exterior detail video. Quarter fender is gonna need bondo and repaint it over it. That's nothing. It's got the same rust on the other side. That's about the only surface rust I can see on it. It has a bigger hole in the other side of this quarter, but I'll show you that once I get to the underneath. Got a badge that I've already got a new one. Just gotta install it once I'm done with it. That'll be the icing on the cake. I can't wait to do that. That means I'm done with it. But here I got some little dents I'll be taking out with some dent pullers. Same here, the rust, I'll be patching it up. Well, since I'm in this side, I'm gonna show you the undercarriage. It's pretty rusty, typical of these. They're old and taken care of. Nobody cares for these. I'm going to show you this big rust hole I got going on here. I have some resin and fiberglass that I would try to patch this up with, but we'll see how that goes. If not, then I'm not to worry about it, but we'll try it out. You know, it never hurts. As you can see, this frame is rusted. It's going to need wire, wheel, and undercoating. I will be applying some high heat paint to these exhausts. Same with the brake calipers. Moving on to the interior. I mean, the thing is just clean and got no tear in the seats. Just gotta clean these out with some good old all-purpose cleaners. Brush it, get all the dirt out, steam it, and cover it with some leather conditioner. Same with the back. Back is pretty clean. Headliner is not sagging, doesn't have any stains. I'm glad I don't have to touch it. I don't want to mess with it. This bracket broke off. If I can show you this piece, this metal piece just goes here, it snapped off. So I got a new bracket from the junkyard, and I'll be installing that in a separate video once I get to the interior. This thing, it is peeled off. It just needs to be tucked in. This steering wheel, only option I got now is just to refurbish it. It's just sticky and worn. I mean, you can see this pattern. It's like, I don't know if it originally was this pattern, but it's just worn. So I might just send this down. Got a new door card. There's nothing wrong with this one, but it is staining here. I don't know if y'all can get this off. I don't know if it's oxidation, but I got a new one anyways, and I needed some clips for the back because it's kind of hanging, so I got a new one. All the interior lights and everything work. I don't have the battery hooked up to it, and I'll show you why right now. But all the lights in the interior work except this. It has a fault in the, I think it just might be in the circuit board, might be just blown out, so I have to solder that. We'll see. I'll take it out some other day. But everything works inside except for the AC, and I'll get to why. So let me pop the hood and show you. Oh, before I do that, I forgot to mention these are peeling off, so I'll be taking these out and putting some new double-sided tape on that, but I'll get to that once I do the exterior detail, and I'll show you how you can just put it back. You know, it just needs some 3M tape and washed out. It's really dirty underneath it. Okay, hopefully this thing doesn't fall on my head because I got some weak sprouts. I already purchased these, they're on their way. But, you know, some light wind can just catch this thing and drop on my head. That's why I got this rod here. Here, as you can see, I'm missing my piece right here, and this piece right here is the AC compressor. This thing was shot. It was bad. It was, the bearing was just, it wasn't even a bearing anymore. So I took it out and I got a new part, new AC compressor coming in. I got the line here, so I gotta cover that up before I throw some water inside this thing. Yep, this thing is dry. It's going to need some coolant, so flush that out if I need to, but it's going to need some coolant in the radiator. Moving on to the engine. The engine runs good. This thing I forgot to mention and show you, it only has 127,000 miles on it, so it hasn't been abused that much. It's just dirty, and you can see. So I'll be washing this out. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean the engine bay. It has years caked on dust, oil, whatnot. So I'll be going over it with some power washer and degreaser, and then do that a few times. But before, we gotta prep the wires that can't get wet. So stuff that can't get wet are your alternator right here. I already took out the battery, so but I'll still be covering these up with tape. And since I took out the AC compressor, I'll be covering this AC line as best as I can. Moisture can't not get in there, so I'll be covering that up really good, sealing it up from any water back, so I can cover the stuff up. And it's just prep work and a lot of washing and a lot of scrubbing. If I got time, I'll be putting this in jack stands. I'll take out the tires and we'll leave those for another day. But let's get to this engine bay one step at a time, you know, baby steps. So here we go. Right, so now I got this thing soaking up in some degreaser. It's already looking clean. It's already doing its job. It'll wow, that's bad. But it'll get some of the surface rust and just stain out of it, oils, everything. And then I'll go over it with the power washer and do another round of degreaser and do some scrubbing with it. Right, so now that I got everything scrubbed and pretty much all of the dirt out of it, I'm going to blow dry this thing with my vacuum blower and get all the water out of the nooks and crannies and get it dry as possible. So while the engine is drying out, I've decided to start on the undercarriage. So I'm gonna fill out my sprayer with some really concentrated all-purpose cleaner so it can soak up in the rust, get at least some of the surface rust out with the pressure washer. Okay, so I'm gonna jack up the car, put it in jack stands, and we'll get to work. All right, it is the next day and I got this inner wells cleaned out, the underframe degreased, and it's just ready for wire wheel and undercoating. But before I do that, I'm gonna clean out these wheels. I already got the car on jack stands. I got 6 jacks holding it and whole jack in the front. I'm gonna take out these wheels, clean them out, polish the chrome and dress the tires, and clean and polish the center caps. For these center caps, I've already polished them out with some others, aluminum and mag polish. Just went over it with this foam pad and got in between all these were, you can see this one, this was how it looked like before I did this. I sprayed it with some Rust-Oleum rust dissolver. It's like a gel and it just eats all of the brake dust. It's really good stuff. Yeah, it just needs polished, and to get in between all of these spaces between these, I'll use a Q-tip with some polish and just polish it out, like same in between here. So I'll show you how to do that, put you on the time lapse. So I took off the wheels, I got them separated here. I'm gonna wash those, clean them out. Took out the front rotors, heat shield, and got them soaking in this stuff. It's called Evapor Rust. Got them soaking in here. I'm gonna let them soak overnight, rotate them, and brush them out. Did the same for this side. Yeah, I ordered some new upper control arm, and with the ball joint, the lower control arm ball joint is shot too, so I'll order that. And these sway bar links, order some new ones for the front. Got those coming soon. But while that's running, I'm gonna also got the front shrouds for the hood support. They came in today, so I'm gonna install those later. Also got new brake pads coming in all around, front and rear. But I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna work on the wheels and finish off the day. I'll spray these out with some degreaser. Okay, close it off. Shows the inside. Okay, so I got this Armor All Extreme Wheel and Tire Cleaner, and it does wonders. Okay, hose that off. And you don't need to do this, but this is some iron remover. This stuff turns purple once it comes in contact with iron particles, but it does smells like farts. I don't like using it that much. Only when it's needed, but I'm gonna try it out, see if it does anything or not. You can see it already turning purple. It's already doing reaction to it. But I'm gonna let that stuff soak for a few minutes and work on these other wheels while that's going at it. I'm going to apply this Rust Dissolver by Rust-Oleum. It's a gel form. You just spread it all over where you see all this brake dust, and it'll just eat away at it. Work it in and brush it, and it just comes off. But don't let it dry on the surface for too long. It'll stain your bare metal and whatnot. So just work fast with it, and if you need another coat, just keep applying another coat. I mean, you can see this one, most of it just come off. It just needs here where it's just this tight spaces, it just needs a little more. Just takes out all the oxidation if you scrub it out. It is the next day, and I got the wheels polished out, the chrome and the tires dressed, and I started doing something I didn't plan on doing, and that is paint the inside of the drums. As you can see, I've got 2 done already, and I'm gonna work on this one and that one that's laying on the ground. I'm using some POR 15. It's like a rust preventative. It's high gloss, and I'm gonna work on this one and then mask it off from the front plate. I couldn't get this what do you call this, forgot the name for it, but the front, I know you can unglue this stuff off the chrome piece, but I didn't want to mess with it and bend it, so I left it on, and I figure I just mask it and paint just the back, since that's what I'm working with. Right, so first thing, I'm going to prep the surface of this with some isopropyl alcohol. Just give it a wipe down. So I got that wiped down. Turn it around. Okay. I already polished the chrome with some mothers. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay some tape here and kind of just tuck it in here like so, and so I don't get it any on this surface of the wheel. Just kind of want to press it in the groove. Use your nail, that way nothing leaks out the back, and then it'll be a mess to clean up because this stuff is pretty strong. You can use it for even coating the underframe, but I'm using some other stuff for that. So just like that, you just tuck it in and shape it into the size of the groove. And after several hours of going at these, I got 2 coats of PR15 on them, and it just looks so slick, so shiny, brand new. So now that the rims and tires are all done, I'm gonna set them aside. Then I'm gonna take time tomorrow to start working on the frame and rusty parts. That'll be in the next episode. But for now, thank you for sticking through and watching this far, and I'll catch you on the next one.